Alrighty, everybody, welcome to Casual Sports Talk Podcast, MLB American League Edition. And now we got a man right here on the left who realizes his Guardians are heading up to the galaxy in baseball. Here's Chris.
Oh, heck yeah. Let's go Guardians. Let's go Tribe. Yeah, they're making a great run in the first half, so I hope they continue in the second half of the season.
Yes. And now we realize we got a man right over here on here who realizes his Detroit Tigers just mutated to become the Detroit Kittens. Here's Douglas.
So, Stu, if you look there at the last 10 games, I see the Tigers at 8-2, best in the AL. So I don't know what you're talking about. Best record in the last 10 games.
Woo! Hey, 10 games don't count.
Yeah, honestly, that's pretty good. I mean, sir, look at those Guardians, 4-6. Uh-oh. Tigers are on the uptick here.
The Tigers are basically in first place, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Tigers are going to win the
Tigers
are
only
going
7 games out of the wild card.
If we have this right here on the screen, look at this. So the Tigers are like right here in the bottom right here. Bottom on the list right over here. Like total.
Hey, we don't need facts. Get your facts out.
Guess what? Who is all the way up to that list? Do you see this, Theodore? I just want you to read this right now. Who's number one in the AL League?
Well, sure. Yeah, we're number one right now, and I'm not trying to talk negative about my hometown boys, the Guardians, but 4-6 in the last 10. We struggled before the All-Star break, so hopefully we got a nice little break here.
Hey, we'll come back. We'll come back. But anyway,
I hope they finish better than the Cavs because I like Cleveland. I hope they make a run.
Yeah, I mean, hey, am I in a weird spot where we might talk? But like I said, we'll probably discuss it when we get to the Guardians right there. The final discussion, actually, this is going to be interesting. So we're going to go bottom down all the way up, talking about all 15 teams right over here in this American League. And we're going to see how do we feel about this season overall. So, gentlemen, what is your thoughts about, since we're in the All-Star break right now, this MLB season right now?
I mean, I love the Orioles. I love the way that they're built. Like, they're one of my favorite teams. Like, I think it's super fun when teams have young superstars, and like that Gunnar Henderson looks unbelievable. It's a lot of fun seeing the home run chase kind of between Aaron Judge. Will he, kind of get back to 60 home runs again? That's super fun. And yeah, those are my main personal thoughts. Like
Doug, you also said about the Orioles. Let me add on to that. They have Adley Rutschman, who was a rookie last year, who also won Rookie of the Year last year. So yeah, Baltimore Orioles, bunch of young guys getting it done. So
yeah, like they're a potential dynasty here, man. Like they're going to be good for a long time. They're giving me Astros vibes, or Astros someone on that great 8 to 10 year run.
Which is crazy to think because the Orioles used to be bad. But like I said, we'll just discuss that when we get to the Orioles.
Before we go on to the Chicago White Sox, real quick, who do you guys think is going to win the AL?
Well, that's a good
Baltimore
question.
Or Cleveland. I think, honestly, those are the two that I pick. I don't think it's going to be the Yankees. Yankees always struggle the postseason. I don't feel confident with the Twins. I mean, I know that they have that weird rule where it's going to be 7 teams, and which I personally do not like that they're going to have 7 teams in the playoffs. That feels weird. But if I'm thinking about it, I'm just thinking I don't feel Seattle's going to do it. Seattle always chokes in the postseason. I don't think the Mariners are ever going to get that World Series this year. So I'm thinking it's either Cleveland or Baltimore.
Oh, you're going the entire AL? I was just talking about for the regular season.
Oh.
That's a good question. Are you talking make it to the World Series or just end with the best record?
Oh, let's go best. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, best record then to make it to the World Series from the AL.
I think if I had to put my gun to my head, Guardians are going to have still the best record at the end of the season, but I think the Orioles might make it to the World Series.
All right. That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I like that.
Yeah. Well, I have a random thought, too, that I just got bummed about. I wish that the Tigers were in the AL West because, man, if they were, they'd be 3 games out, and instead they're got no real chance at the playoffs.
Well, if they would have played a lot better last year when the AL Central was terrible, they would have.
Yeah, you're right. They'd be in 3rd place in the AL West. Wow.
Yeah, So, but I mean, I honestly think the Yankees are going to have the best record at the end of the season. But I think that the Orioles will also make the World Series.
Yeah, because let's be honest, the Yankees are always going to choke it. I just do not. This is not a team that's always going to make it far. I mean, they won a World Series in 2009, but that's it. And I think that's the last time they made it to a World Series.
That's such an interesting narrative, Stu. Like, I don't know why, like, just the thought of the Yankees sucking in the playoffs, because they have, like, what, 27 World Series? So just that narrative is wild, but it's also been 15 years, you know?
Yeah.
It's also, if you look at it, right, the World Series started how many? Or
100 years.
When there, how many teams in the league when they had a 1-6, 1-8 shot?
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, they won. How many did they win in the 90s? Like, I think the Yankees had to win. They won like 4 straight, I think, in the 90s, early 2000s. It's like
that one World Series when it was against them and the Mets. If I'm trying to remember, yeah, it was them and the Mets in the World Series.
Is that the last time the Yankees were in the World Series, you say?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, 09 was the last time.
I'm just going to look that up. Look at this. My good old friend, Mr. Google.
So while you're looking that up, Stu, I would say what Stuart said, Guardians' best record, Baltimore make it to the World Series. Doug, you said Yankees' best record, Baltimore to the World Series. I mean, it's hard to say that the Orioles would not make it to the World Series. 'Cause, yeah, they have a young team and they're putting work in there. I mean, that last 10, they're 3-7 in the last 10. Man, if I had to put it,
So to be fair, they only won 3 World Series in a row. They won it in 2000, 99, 98, and 96.
So 2000 was their last.
So they won 4 in 5 years.
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
And then 2009, and then there's not been. It's been crickets ever since. Chirp, 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 chirp.
I would probably say, yeah, man, I'd say the Guardians made it to the World Series, but the Orioles have the best record. I'm going out on a real whim here.
See, I like it though. I mean, the Guardians are hard to root against, you know. They're just one of those like cities and teams that you just kind of. But I want to see the Orioles even more though.
And it's been a while since the Orioles won a World Series. I believe when's it 1970?
Probably, and like the Orioles are just so consistently bad that it'd be so nice. Like I feel like the Guardians have been like great.
No, actually, I'm wrong. 83 is the last time they won the World Series.
Who they played?
But still, that's a long time.
40 years.
Man, I will tell you this. There's a great video I should send it to you guys. It's the great Earl Weaver, who was an Orioles coach.
Earl Weaver.
Oh, Earl Weaver. And he was the Baltimore Orioles coach, and it was him getting angry. There's this like recording of him getting angry with an umpire, and it's a lot of cursing.
What team was this guy on, Stu?
He was in the Baltimore Orioles.
Okay, gotcha.
I will tell you this: the YouTube video had some misinformation. I just wanted to let you know because they said they're playing against the Minnesota Twins, and in my looking at the video, they were wrong. It was against the Detroit Tigers and I can tell you why, because in the scoreboard it had D-E-T. That's Detroit.
What year was this?
1980. So you hear Earl Weaver just like argue an umpire.
Yeah.
Screaming at an umpire. It is the greatest thing ever. My God. He did make it to the world. He did make the Hall of Fame, I will say this. So there's one time where, the umpire got mad at him back, and I'll try to abbreviate it. It's like, hey, Earl, you're going to make the World Series for what? Screwing up a World Series? That's how you make the Hall of Fame?
So he made the Hall of Fame, Earl Weaver. There you go.
But like I said, though, it's a great. I will send it to you, and you will enjoy it, and it's going to be the greatest thing ever. But now, I guess we got to talk about the worst thing ever right now: the Chicago White Sox. Gentlemen, what is your thoughts on the worst team in all of baseball right now?
Let's see what we've played. They played 98 games. There's 162 in his in a season. So yeah, mathematically they have not been eliminated, but they're 32 and a half games back.
My God.
Well, yeah, they're gonna lose well over 100 games too.
Oh yeah, because what? Yeah, 29. What? There's 98, 162.
It's been a while since the White Sox,
I mean, yeah,
but it's
64 more games to play in the season. So yeah.
So even if they go 500, that's 59 and 103.
Yeah. So in this last month in July, I'm gonna look at the July right over here. So they got swept by the Pirates. They did not win. They only won one game against the Twins. They got one game against the Miami Marlins, which is not really saying that much. They got one game against the Guardians. And then in June, they got swept by the Bruins, swept by the Cubs. They won 2 games against the White Sox. They got swept by. They only won 1 game against 4 against the Mariners.
Did you just say they beat the White Sox?
Yeah, they beat themselves
twice.
2 games to 1.
That's how bad they are. They lose to themselves.
Yeah, right. Their bullpen comes out against the starters and then just beats them.
Man, that's a new level of terrible right there.
New level of terrible. They beat their own set. And in the crowning achievement right here, Douglas, did you watch when it was against the Tigers game? It was them against the White Sox.
Mm-hmm.
And Detroit was in the lead by 1 out.
No.
Guy ran to second base. He went to first base to second base. Didn't realize he thought there's 2 outs. There's only 1 out. They're like, oh wait, you got to go back to first base. Got the out, and then the Tigers win.
Still sounds a lot like watching your kickball games right there. That's what
I literally texted my kickball. Please don't do this in base. Please don't do this in kickball.
You expect more out of a major league player than you would your casual kickball game.
Kickball.
Yeah, literally. You got paid how much, and you didn't know there was 2, 1 out. My God, this is the worst. This is honestly. Are they going to have the worst? I think I looked at the stats. So being behind in the league. So they're 32.5 against the Guardians.
Yeah, they're 32 and a half games out of first place behind the
not going to get at this point. That's how bad it is. There's no way. They've had 71 losses.
Mm-hmm.
My God. They had more losses.
Wow. I mean, look at their runs against. They've given up 490 runs. That is wow. Compared to everyone else, that is just crazy.
This is a crazily bad team. And you know the funny part is this owner, and I always say it, I feel like it's kind of funny because the Your Name Tree guy, he made a video on the Chicago White Sox being so bad. And he had a joke where they call when they even do it when it's trade deadlines or anything like that. They are like the dollar discount of the Major League Baseball. They just get the scrubs that are left.
The White
they don't
Sox?
get the best players. Who wants to go to Chicago White Sox team?
Well, I mean, I think for me the problem is, well, I don't know. I guess this is unrelated, but it's so hard in like today's sports for like smaller markets to get a superstar, but Chicago's not a small market. So I think it's because people go to the north side of Chicago up to the Cubs, but nobody wants to play in the south side of Chicago.
Yeah, because they are the redheaded stepchild of Chicago. I'm just saying.
You know, it's kind of like the Chargers versus the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder why that is, why people favor the Cubs more than the White Sox.
Well, people prefer the Lakers over the
Clippers, right?
Because the Clippers...
And they play at the exact same location.
Yeah.
So...
I mean, yeah.
And did you hear the news that the owner now is saying, hey, City of Chicago, can you build? Can the City of Chicago pay? Because I'm a poor billionaire. It's a tough one.
Pay for what? What do you pay for what?
Pay for a new stadium.
Why do they need a new stadium when they're not doing well? Bring the people in, make some money, and then get a new stadium.
But
I mean, that's not exactly what the Cleveland Browns are doing, but that's pretty much a little bit of a correlation. The Browns have been doing well the last few years, and the Browns will probably be building a new stadium within the next 2 to 3 years.
But the Chicago White Sox, we need a new stadium. So,
do you know what I think all of their challenges stem from?
Yes.
The cheating scandal back in like the 1920s or whatever.
Oh yeah, where the whites, where they were called the Black Sox.
Exactly.
Oh, what? What was the scandal about?
They like threw games and stuff.
Yeah, because baseball players weren't paid that well back in the day, so basically people just bet. They were like, "Hey, throw this World Series game, and we'll pay you." And then basically, like, that's why Joe.
The players on the Black Sox, the Chicago Black Sox, were doing this.
Yeah, the White Sox were doing it.
Well, they said they were called the Black Sox, and then they changed to the White Sox?
No, they nicknamed
because
the Black Sox.
Oh, I got it, because they're dirty people, so they're Black Sox. I gotcha. Yeah. For what they did. Oh, wow, that's crazy. And when did this happen? What decade?
1919, basically.
Oh, gee, okay.
Yeah. So.
This is why they suck today.
Yeah, right. Whatever happened 100 years ago, they're going to pay for it now in 2024.
Douglas, I just want to let you know. I just want to let you know. Here's a secret, Douglas. I just want to just look into my ear, and I'm just going to whisper you something right here.
Look into his ear.
You can suck for a really long time. There ain't no curse. You're just bad.
Did you hear about the curse on the Lions too? That maybe they'll finally lift. See, I don't know. I don't believe in curses, but then you hear about some of these, and I don't know, man.
I don't believe in curses. I just think teams can just suck really bad for a long time. I'm just saying. I don't think.
Nah. I mean, I believe in a little bit of superstition. I believe in a curse.
Yeah. Hey. I think it's fun to believe in, at least. Like, I enjoy to think that like Babe Ruth cursed the Red Sox. Like, that's just good fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's just fun, LOL, trolling. But I feel like it's but I just don't think I just think the White Sox are just bad. They're just bad. Sure. I just think they've been bad, and I think this just proves why they're bad, and it's terrible. I think the real curse is terrible ownerships. I'm just saying.
Oh, that's for sure.
That's the Pistons, man. The Pistons have sucked. They've watched the Cavaliers through 3 rebuilds in contention, and the Pistons have sucked the entire time.
Yes. There ain't no curse on that on the Pistons. They just suck.
They just missed every single draft pick.
I don't want to go too off tangent. When's the last time Pistons made the playoffs?
Well, they made the playoffs
was it 2018?
Yeah, they made the playoffs and got swept about 6 years ago when they had Blake Griffin.
Oh, okay.
The last time they won a playoff game was 2009, though. A single playoff game, it's been about 15 years.
I'm glad we don't get too off topic because we're just talking about the White Sox. We ended up talking about the Pistons somehow in a completely different sport here.
The 2 first teams and their sport.
Yeah, unfortunately for the White Sox, I think we're not going to have any eulogies for the White Sox since your season's probably going to be done. Let's be honest.
Do you guys think that they would continue to finish?
Oh, hell yes. They're going to be dead last. They're going to have, so 30 is the record for the most behind in a division.
Oh, to finish 30 games behind? Okay, wow.
Yeah,
well,
30
at the All-Star break or at the end of the season?
End of the season.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. They might challenge for that.
Yeah.
I mean, they're easily going to lose 105 games.
Yeah. Will they? That's a good question. We should ask this.
I was about to ask that question. How many?
Less than 30.
Oh, okay. I was going to ask another question.
I'm going to say yes.
So, sir, you're saying more or less than 30 games back the White Sox finish?
Yes.
In the American League?
Yes.
I'm going to say that they're going to finish more than 30 games back.
Yeah, same.
They're not good. Unfortunately, the White Sox.
So here's my question to you guys. They're at 71 losses. There's 64 games left in their season. Not everyone plays the same number of games. at the All-Star break. Anyways, 64 games left. How many losses do you think they're going to finish with?
Oh God, I'm going to go with 120. I go 115.
Wait.
115.
One person at a time.
Oh, sorry.
No, I mean they're on pace for about 115, so that might not be a bad guess. Because like if they kept their current pace of a 27% win percentage, yeah, that'd be about 43 and 119.
So you're saying 119?
No, I'm gonna say about 100 and I was gonna say about 109.
109. Stu, what's your number? Stu, you're really doing calculations. I was just gonna go to one on the fly, you know?
Oh, I said 115. I said 115.
Oh, you said 115. So 115, 109. I'm gonna go 111. They're gonna lose 40 out of 68 now. Let's go one. Stu, you said 115. Let's go one. Oh man, I'm gonna go 112. 112.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
All right.
I mean, I think they'll have a little streak in there somewhere to keep them under the 110 mark, but we'll see. They suck.
Okay, gotcha.
They
so
suck.
109, 111, 115. All right, we'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes, and I think they're going to be the worst team. If I'm looking at right there, Miami Marlins are probably the second worst. I think they're going to be worse than the Miami Marlins. They lost games against the Miami Marlins. I don't care if you're away. You do not lose to the Miami Marlins.
Yeah, you said they only got one game out of that series, I do believe, Stu.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Miami's at 344 win percentage. So yeah, I mean, if we're going league wise, White Sox are going to finish last. American League, they're going to finish last.
Yeah. So they're not looking good. It's not looking good.
Hey, have you guys heard about the Mirage in Las Vegas? It just closed last night. Did you guys hear about that?
No, like permanently closed.
So like the Mirage in Las Vegas Strip, the last day of operation was last night. Like it was all not all about all over the news, but it was on some news stations, and that's because isn't that where the Oakland Athletics, isn't that the new stadium's gonna be built right there on the Strip?
It might be. Like I think they bought some land over there. Is that why though? You think they're renovating it for the Oakland Athletics?
Yeah.
Wait, no, they're tearing down the Tropicana. The Mirage, they're turning into the Hard Rock Hotel. But yeah, they tore down the Tropicana because that's where the Oakland Athletics are moving to Las Vegas.
Yeah, and like I said, I guess we'll discuss right now. Gentlemen, what are your thoughts about this is probably the last year of the Oakland A's right now, which is going to feel weird that this honestly, this is going to be crazy. All teams from Oakland have just left. Since the A's leave, there's no more any team from Oakland.
Dude, yeah, don't forget about those Golden State Warriors.
That's San Francisco. They're not in Oakland.
I thought they were in Oakland.
No, they moved to San Francisco now.
Oh, so there's nothing in Oakland? Uh-oh.
Yeah, there's nothing in Oakland right now.
Like even Sacramento has something.
Yeah, Sacramento has hockey and NHL, or that's the same thing. NBA and NHL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wild.
It is a wild, crazy stat to think about.
What's going on in Oakland? Does no one watches sports there, or like no?
No, honestly, it's just the ownership just kind of screwed over the city. Basically, they wanted to build a new stadium. City was like, no, we're not winning any money. So they're like, nope, we're just moving to Vegas.
Yeah.
That's ownership bought. And also attendance is really bad in Oakland. If I'm going to look at the stats,
that's what I was saying. Attendance is low. That's because obviously it's the people in the suburbs or, even that in living in Oakland, why are they not going to games? Are they not?
I mean, I think people also the San Francisco teams have been so consistently better that people are probably off because you have the 49ers, you have the Golden State Warriors, and you have the San Francisco Giants who won 3 World Series. So True. It's you have 3 championship level teams right in the same bay. Get out of here, Oakland. We want to see the 49ers over the Raiders.
Yeah.
How close is Oakland to San Francisco? Like a pretty close drive.
Yeah, I think all three. Like I think Sacramento, Oakland, and San Francisco are all like right within the same little like Bay Area.
Okay, so as of right now, out of 30 teams, this is according to ESPN. What would you think the average for an Oakland attendance number? What do you think the average would be?
Like per game or per ticket, or what's the question here?
Per game.
Per game for an Oakland Athletics game. Doug, you can go first on this guess.
I was going to say about 7,500.
All right, let's see here. You're saying the Oakland Athletics. You said 7,500 on average. Wow, and what the stadium could hold 24,000 people roughly. 7,500, man, that's a good number. I'm gonna say, am I gonna go lower? I'm gonna go 6,400.
Ooh, you're 7,700 per.
Oh, see, I knew Doug was so close. I didn't know what else to do.
It's that bad. That's bad.
Yeah, that's like Tigers in like the early 2000s bad.
Like
when they lost like 120 games, I think in like 01 or 02.
Like I'm trying to think, what's the stadium? I'm just gonna look at like what's their capacity.
I think Athletics at the current moment they might have one of the biggest capacity wise because
I think theirs is like in the 40,000s because they play at that football stadium.
I was gonna say they have the football field too, and it just can hold so many people. Obviously, the football field didn't hold as many as the average for the NFL, but baseball wise holds a lot more, right, Stu?
Yeah, I'm looking it up. I think the temporary home for the okay, so so it's now so it's in Shutter Health Park now. So they switched it right now, so it's in it's actually in Sacramento Valley Stadium. So that's kind of weird.
So what? Sacramento Valley, is that like a college that they play in, or like what?
Yeah, basically.
Really?
So they're only doing like a 14,000 seat capacity.
Really? No kidding.
So they're like half full then. That's sweet.
I mean, is that what the Coyotes did, or the Coyotes, Arizona Coyotes?
Which they screwed that pooch out there, right in there. Just saying.
Let's see here. So the next series, the Athletics are playing Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, right? Again, in Oakland. Let's see where the stadium's at real quick. I mean, I believe you, Stu. Stuart, no, it's at Oakland Coliseum.
Oh, it is? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, well, I wonder where you were looking at.
Okay,
yeah, Oakland, let's see, Oakland Coliseum. It doesn't say.
Oh, their capacity is 46,847.
Yeah, exactly. Like this place could hold a lot of people,
and
because you said you'll have football games as well. Yeah. So yeah. Whatever Stu was looking at, Sacramento Valley. That was unfortunately incorrect. They played at Oakland Coliseum, and Stu just said can hold 47,000 people.
But let's put it that way. 47,000 seat capacity, and they only have, if we're putting the math right there, 47,000.
Well, they have 40,000 empty seats a night, Stu. That's the math.
Because because
15. Sorry, I've got to round it up. 15% of seating capacity.
You know what is like? I wonder why. Because Oakland used to be a sports hub. You have the Athletics, you have the Raiders, and like they had diehard fans. I don't know if you guys remember the Oakland Raiders. People would dress up in like I don't know if it was like I don't know how to I don't even know how to describe it. But those fans were crazy, and then the fans just kind of started fading out. I wonder why.
Because ownership did not care, and they wanted to move out of.
True. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, honestly,
we really talked about this like 4 minutes.
I have a theory. I have a theory. Ice Cube got soft. Ice Cube went Hollywood, Stu. That's why everybody's leaving.
No, Compton got soft now.
What?
Yeah, he's now all Hollywood, so everybody's like, "No, Oakland ain't tough no more." That's my theory.
No, I just feel like I honestly, and I will always say it, and you would probably agree with this. Fyodor, even though you were a child at the day, it really is terrible to lose a sports team. It's gut wrenching.
Oh yeah.
Like I know Douglas has never.
Sir, I'm sorry. Well, what's gut wrenching?
A sports team leaving your city.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, for the majority of my life growing up, except for the past like 2 or 3 years, it's been very hard to watch Cleveland sports for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, I
especially
think you're saying like the Browns leaving in like the late '90s too.
For sure.
yeah, and that was like a tough.
Yeah, that does.
And then
like,
them becoming the Baltimore Ravens, and then the Ravens winning the Super Bowl the first year that they're an expansion team.
Yeah,
as a
the first
Browns
5
fan,
years,
that just was. I don't even know. I would say like crushing, but beyond crushing. But we're here to talk about the American League and
and it just
Major
really
League Baseball.
and you know the funny part? There was only one time they actually filled the stadium last year. This is actually a funny story.
Oakland
So
Athletics
the fans were like, and it was a good troll. So they bought tickets to go to Oakland's game. They filled up the stadium, and basically they just booed the thing, and they all had signs that said "Sell the team."
Nice. I'm a big fan of sell the team signs. Like I love when the Pistons show up wearing the paper sacks and like say sell the team.
like on their heads.
If you lose for 15 years, I think the league should kick you out.
Yeah.
Like, there needs to be a
relegation. Oakland been
system.
good. I know
So
they won the World Series in '89.
We're gonna go to like the European soccer method.
Yes, I was literally about to say this. Thank you, Doug.
Right, like get the White Sox out of here. Like they don't belong. They lose every year. Like send them down to the AAA and promote some good AAA squad.
Are you telling me we should do that in the NFL? Like,
see, I wonder like how that would work because what the owner like Guardians, their AAA team is the Columbus Clippers. So if they wanted to promote the Clippers, they just move the team up here, and like the entire team just moves up here. And now, like I mean, that would be so sweet. I mean, it's the same owner, but is it not the same owner, right? Like of the entire AAA, the farm system, or how? Do you know how that works?
I mean, I don't know. That's a good question. I would imagine, if nothing, they're like obviously contract. I can't talk. Somehow they're connected, but I don't know if it'd be the same owners. I would imagine it would have to be almost though, because it's like one general manager that like decides and then calling people up and down, and it's like a whole organization.
So I think the Indians or the Guardians have another team in the AA farm system. I can't remember who it is. Oh, the Lake County Captains.
Yeah, like
so that's another roster of what 15 people. What the MLB rosters at 15, right?
Yeah. Well,
and then the whole list of coaches and personnel. So all these rich billionaires are just paying all these people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they have like A, AA, and AAA. So like the Tigers have the Toledo Mud Hens, and they have like the it's like a random city on like the west side of Michigan. Like that's like their single A team.
Grand
like,
Rapids, maybe.
Yeah, like there's just random cities like the. So I don't know. They all have to be one organization though, I would imagine.
Right, but yeah, like you were saying, Doug. Yeah, like seriously, as the Chicago White Sox or the bottom two teams dip yourself down in the AAA, and then the top two teams in AAA bump themselves up.
You know, because how cool would that be too? Like if you had like the Tiger, like if the Mud Hens got promoted and the Tigers are still in the league, then all of a sudden, like you have two rosters in there. It's pretty cool.
So would they play at, because Toledo's moving up? Would Toledo hypothetically speaking, would Toledo then like would the MLB games play in Toledo at the Mudham Stadium?
Yeah, I think so.
Because there's not enough seating. Those stadiums are comparably smaller, you know?
Well, that's what's so cool about it, because then I think it would like promote, because like I was watching that Wrexham thing on Disney Plus with like Ryan Reynolds and oh man, I'm sorry, the dude from Sunny in Philadelphia, Rob something, and they bought a really like low level team with a smaller stadium, and then as they got better, they had to keep doing stadium upgrades and stuff. So like that was part of it. Like when they got the bump up to like a higher league, you get more money, but then you have to spend more on players. So like you kind of like make more, so then you can like upgrade stuff as you kind of get to the higher divisions.
Right.
So, unfortunately for the Oakland A's.
Have fun in Las Vegas when you come to Las Vegas. I don't know if they're going to keep it at the Las Vegas Athletics.
Yes, and unfortunately for Oakland, we won't be talking. I think next year there'll be no more sports talk about you in Oakland. It's going to be crazy.
It's kind of weird that you can we'll be able to go to Vegas and see everything except an NBA team right now.
Yeah. Well, you could see a WNBA, the Vegas Aces.
That's right. They won the WNBA championship last season.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, go Aces. And unfortunately, I guess another team that it does not have any Angels in the outfield right now, the Los Angeles Angels, has been pretty meh right now.
To be honest, I don't even know who plays that. Does Mike Trout still play on the Angels?
Yeah, that's what's hard too, man. It's so sad that literally Trout's entire prime was wasted.
Wasted his career.
Literally a wasted career, man. He wanted to be loyal and he got paid and all that's good, but man, oh man, it would have been fun to see him in the playoffs.
Well, it would have been fun to see had Shohei Ohtani not went to the Dodgers, had he built his career in Los Angeles, playing for the Angels, not the Dodgers. See it grow and play with Trout, but unfortunately, I guess what money talks. Is that why?
It's crazy to think
that he went to the Dodgers.
Yeah, once Shohei left, it's like the team just
Well, I mean, they weren't making the playoffs with Shohei. If you can miss the playoffs with Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout together, I don't know what you're doing, but you literally probably had the two best players on the planet, and you still couldn't make the playoffs.
Right.
Oh my God. Would it be the equivalent of the NFL terms? It's if you had Jared Goff and Barry Sanders in their prime, and they still couldn't make the postseason.
See, so I would say it'd be more like having Tom Brady and Randy Moss together and miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Really the two best, Jared Goff is maybe a top 10 quarterback. It'd be if you had Joe Montana and Jerry Rice missing the playoffs.
Right.
Oh my God.
It's
Moss and Brady, they played together, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they never missed the playoffs, correct?
Nope. There's only 1 year they missed the playoffs, and that was because Brady got hurt. That was it.
Well, and they even finished 11-5 that year.
Yeah.
They finished 11-5 and missed the playoffs. That's just brutal.
Yeah. So it's been a really bad. Yeah, it's not been good. I mean, granted, they're not in the bottom two of the White Sox or the Athletics, but the Angels have not been pretty good. And I'm going to be honest with you, they are the little brother to the Dodgers in LA. Just saying.
I mean, the Angels are only 10 games out of their division, but I mean, the way things have been going.
I mean, it's been it's sad. Team's bad. Shohei left. They wasted Mike Trout's career. There's a sad little boy that's hoping that Angels would come to the outfield and help him out. Wait a minute, you don't know about the movie Angels in the Outfield?
Oh, sir, I love that movie. Everyone should know about that movie.
Oh my God! It does make me laugh, and I think about when I remember the Nostalgia Critic made a funny thing where it's children starving in Africa. We got war-torn countries right now. No, I gotta have some boys dream about baseball. His prayers are more important. Sorry, guys.
Very cynical. What I'm here
okay.
Some kid.
But am I not wrong?
Stu, that's what they call the American dream.
Yeah, I was gonna say something similar. I'm that's why we're fortunate to have the things we do in the United States, and unfortunately, that's why it is over in other places like that.
Oh my God! And so it's not been good for the Los Angeles Angels. And unfortunately, I think the Devils have just come and took over the Angels in the outfield. But honestly, I'm looking at their stats right now, and I'm looking at their stats right there. So they did beat the Mariners decently. They did beat them in 3 out of 4 games.
Oh wow, that's very decent.
They lost to the Rangers 2 out of 3. They lost the Cubs 2 out of 3, and then they got swept by the freaking Oakland.
Ooh, that's not a good look.
Well,
I don't care if it's away. It's Oakland.
But on the bright side, they have won 3 in a row, and what that was against Oakland, probably right. So they're only 17 and a half back, and in their division they're only 10 back. So
technically it was against the Marlins, but like I said, a better team. But it's not.
Sir, honestly, we should talk about a worse team than the Angels. I know the record doesn't say they're the worst. They're worse, but divisional wise and chances of making to the playoffs, they have a worse shot than the Angels. And it's the next team on the list. It's the Blue Jays from
the worst team in Toronto. If it wasn't for the Expos,
the only team from, of course, gonna be the worst team.
Yeah, I mean, technically, if the Expos didn't get moved out in 2004, remember when that was a team?
Montreal Expos, yeah, dude.
Montreal Expos, Douglas, you missed it. Let's go Expos.
I know about the Montreal Expos.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I don't know much though.
Yeah, so
I mean, I think it's a shame too, because like from what I understand, I think they have 2 elite hitters, so I don't know why they're so low on this list.
It's what they have, Guerrero Jr. and
then I think that Bo Bichette or something like that. Is that his name? Am I getting this right? I'm casual.
Yeah, I'm somewhat looking it up.
Yeah, let me look at the roster.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have I'm pretty sure his name's Bo.
Bo.
Oh yeah, Bo Bichette.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not been for the are you talking about for the pitchers or the catchers?
No, Stu, we're going hitters.
Ooh,
we're talking raw power, Stu.
Yeah, Stu.
God.
So you're saying Bo Bichette, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Like obviously Guerrero Jr. Yeah, one of the better hitters in the AL. Bo Bichette, I think he plays second base. I do believe shortstop.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure, but they just polled a bunch of people, and a lot of people said they would take Bo over Vlad too. They say that he's a better long-term player.
Mm-hmm. It's been like I said. I mean, for the Blue Jays, for a tough division, they kind of been the same. They've been kind of mid right now. And
I mean, you have
I'm putting money that they're going to be selling the team. They're going to be a lot of selling. They're not buying this season.
No, that's the thing. They're probably going to trade either Bo or Vlad, which will be a shame.
Yeah, kind of. Well, at least his career's not wasted.
Well, did you guys see that Vladdy said that he would he's kind of backtracking on the possibility of going to the Yankees. He used to say no, I would never go, and now he's like, if I end up in New York, I end up in New York.
And
I mean, is that kind of what that's not exactly what Juan Soto did, but when you have players coming into New York like Juan Soto, you obviously want to be joining those other good players because there's no cap in baseball, right? These owners.
No. I mean, the Dodgers. Right? To be fair, the Dodgers spend more than a small Caribbean island's GDP at this point.
Well, Stuart, that's for when we talk about the NL next week. We're talking about the AL, Stu. I'm
just saying. To be fair, but like I said, the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
It is kind of crazy because I think weren't their expectation high for the Blue Jays this season, if I kind of remember correctly, and then they just kind of.
I don't know if it was high because they're in a division where that's 3 out of the 5 best records in the American League. You have the Orioles, the Yankees, and then you have the Red Sox. I don't know if they're really too hyped up. Maybe it's because they had Vlad and Bo Bichette, but
yeah, I think honestly
it's a very tough division for sure.
Yeah, that division's rough.
It's a rough division, and it stinks. I mean, granted, I have a neutral feeling on the Blue Jays, but they're not looking. I mean, they did. I mean, if I'm looking at their stats for the last month right now, and we're looking at the Blue Jays right now. Actually, they're going to play against the Tigers this week on Friday. Actually,
I mean, if they're that one point that Doug brought up earlier, if they're in the AL West, they'd be in 3rd place right now.
Yeah, so they lost 2 games against the. So as of last month, they lost 2 games out of 3 against the Diamondbacks. They did win 2 games against the Giants. They did win 2 games against the Mariners. They actually lost only won 1 game against the Astros out of 4. And then it is got 2 games against the Yankees. 2 games against the Reds. Only 1 game against the Red Sox. Got swept by the Guardians. Got swept by the Red Sox.
Yeah, I mean the record directly reflects how they're doing in these series. They're not winning series, and that's the key to baseball.
Yeah,
when the Guardians don't win a series, I'm like, you need to win a series because that's usually 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4.
Yeah,
so it's vital to win series, and we're not winning them. I'll see the records.
Yeah, they're not looking. They're just kind of been mid, to be honest with you. Their record just looks very mid.
So, are we going directly from Canada straight down to Texas?
Yeah, which is crazy to think, because I guess the Rangers decided to do the Miami Marlins strategy of, after winning a World Series, is to just be absolutely terrible the next season.
I mean, yeah, you're right. The Rangers are the defending champions, and also it was a pretty cool. Speaking of the Rangers, that's where the All-Star game was just held this past weekend. Not this past week, but this past, not this weekend, but this past week. That was a pretty cool. But yeah, Rangers with 46-50, 12 and a half games back. Oof.
Well, I think that this is part of why it's so important to win those championships when you're there, because especially in a sport like baseball, they won the World Series at least. So even if they missed the playoffs, we got our championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's like how I feel about the Rams when they won the Super Bowl and then they just kind of tanked and went bad. It's like, oh, it's okay, we got a ring.
Exactly.
I'm not gonna get mad at the Rangers for being.
If the Browns could win a ring within the next year, 2, 3 years, that'd be good for the next 20, 25 years of my life.
Well,
we
won that. I'm not gonna lie, boys. That's how I feel about the Michigan Wolverines right now. Where I'm like, dude, even if they do suck this year, which I don't think they will, they won it. They got their championship.
So they won the 2024 championship, not 2023, because the season was played in 2023, but they won it in 2024.
Yeah, I think they call it, I don't know. I've always just called it the 23/24 championship.
Oh, you've always called it that? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
But it's crazy to think. So, for instance, their stats right now. They did do good against the Astros. I'll give them that. They did do okay against. They did do 2 out of 3 against the Angels. Then they swept the Rays at home, and then they didn't do as well against the Padres. Only won 2 out of 3. They only lost.
So based on that, they're winning series that they should. And you said they lost to the Padres. Padres are a pretty good team in the NL, but I mean,
they got swept by the Bruins.
They're only 5 games back in their division. They could easily possibly make a move on Seattle, who have lost 3 in a row.
Yeah.
It
is crazy to think because, like I said, playoffs. They are technically 5 games behind Seattle right now.
Exactly.
And it's going to be crazy. And this wild card spot right now, as of this recording right now, if I'm looking at it right now, so who would make the wild card spot right now? It would be the Yankees, Minnesota, and Boston. So the Rangers are 7.5 in the wild card.
What is it? The top three teams to make the wild card?
Yes. So it's kind of crazy to think Boston still.
Why did I think it was 4?
No, it's the 4 that wins the division. So each one, 3 that win the division, and then I think it's the top 4. Yeah. So it has to be 7. Yeah.
Well, Stuart, don't get confused. There's only 3 divisions. You said the 4 from each division.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 divisions.
Oh, really? Oh. So I guess it's 6. Why is it 7? Is it
I have no idea. I'm too casual when it comes to baseball. I just watch
the playoffs.
How many thing I do in baseball, I go to 3 or 4 games during the season live, and then I watch the playoffs.
Yeah.
Over. I have no idea how any of this stuff works.
Yeah, let me check. How many teams?
All right.
But
honestly, I think the Rangers could make a run. I don't think.
Oh, you're right. It is 12.
What? 12? So what?
It's only 12. So you are correct. It's only 3 in the wild card, 3 in the division.
Oh, for some reason I thought it was 7. It doesn't matter. That could be a different discussion for a different day. Come October.
Yeah, it'd be fun when we get to the podcast on Friday.
Exactly. When we get to the playoffs, MLB playoffs, we'll save that for 2 months from now.
And then we're going to be busy because then we're going to do podcasting about NFL and MLB.
That's right.
Let's go! Right,
so we're going from the Rangers to the Tigers. Doug, are you ready for this conversation about your Detroit Tigers?
I was born for this.
Are you ready for your Detroit Tigers / Detroit Kittens, who has still not won a World Series since '84, even though the Guardians haven't won a World Series since '48?
Yeah.
2016 was close, but yeah, 48. Oh well.
Yeah, there was lots of close calls in the '90s too. The Tigers were close a lot in like the early 2010s.
So, I've got to ask this: do you still like Chris Ilitch as your owner?
See, I'm not one that has strong opinions on owners typically. Like, I think they're getting there. They fired Al Avila and they're kind of doing some stuff. So,
Or should I be precise? Should I call him Nepo Baby Chris Ilitch? I'm just saying, since he's going to probably be never as good as his father.
I mean, if you want to say that, that's respectful, Stu.
Who's not going to be as good as his father, Stu?
Yeah, I said it.
So, I mean,
who'd you say? I didn't hear it.
Oh, Chris Ilitch will never be as great as an owner as his father was.
Say Christian Yelich? He plays for the
Chris Ilitch. Chris Ilitch.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yes.
Don't know who that is.
I'm not worried about the owners. We're talking about teams here. So.
Okay, so I guess back to what I was saying. How do you feel about the Tigers this season?
Well, I mean, I'm excited going into the All-Star break, which I didn't think I'd say. You know, they won 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. The offense seems to be picking up. They have a Cy Young contender. Yeah, they won 2 of 3 from the Guardians. They have a legitimate Cy Young contender. They have really good pitching, so if they can just get the bats going, I would love to see them make some kind of a trade for a big name bat.
I mean, they had a good July. I mean, to be fair, they swept the Reds also.
Yeah.
I totally forgot. It's like, what? I thought the Reds were at least. I mean, well, I guess the Reds kind of suck, but like I said, that's at least decent. You know, I mean, I think they went from like bad to kind of mediocre to kind of okay. They might do something, and they're still kind of mediocre. We'll see.
Doug, did they beat the Guardians 2 out of 3, or was it 3 out of 4?
I think it might have been 3 out of 4. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember that series. Yeah, it was 3 out of 4 because I was like, all right, we're down. Like, you guys won. You guys won 1. Then we won 1. Then you guys won 1. I was like, okay, the best we can do is tie the series. Let's at least get 2 out of 2 here. And then you guys take game 4. I was like, wow, we just lost a 4-game series. That is terrible. So yeah, good job to the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, and also I will say this: in June, you lost 3 out of 4 against the Angels. You tied with Philly 1-1.
That's all good stuff, Stu.
I mean, you did beat the White Sox 2-1, but like, let's be honest, it's the White Sox, so it's not really that.
I mean, I think for me, the Tigers and like the Pistons have a lot of similarities. The Red Wings and Lions are starting to change the mold by actually drafting well. But like, I've never seen teams miss more draft picks than the Tigers and the Pistons.
Really?
Who could
the Tigers have gotten recently, if you know?
Well, so I don't know exactly, but like a lot of their like last first round picks like just aren't panning out, and they're like in AAA still. So like the biggest one is the first baseman. I can't think of his name, but he was like a top 10 pick, I'm pretty sure. He was supposed to be like this all-star first baseman, and then he just keeps getting the yips.
Oh, jeez.
So, like, basically, the Tigers missed on several draft picks with their last GM. Because, like, they should have one of those, like, rosters like the Orioles with how many good draft picks they've had. But they just kind of keep, so I think they're starting to turn a corner if they can actually hit on some draft picks and develop some players. Like, the Javier Baez contract was terrible. I said it was terrible when they did it. Like, they should have gotten Carlos Carrera or an actually elite shortstop.
Oh, what's your thoughts about that Miguel Cabrera contract? It was a great contract, right?
I mean, I have no problem with that contract. You know, a man is the best hitter on the planet. You pay him. At that point, he was just getting legacy money, and that's okay.
I mean, you still paid Verlander for years after he was out with the Tigers. Yeah, I mean,
that's the cost of going all in. Like, they went all in like 2013, 2014. And I mean, it's a smaller market team, harder to get players, so they had to do a lot of bad trades.
Yeah. And
Doug, your Detroit Tigers, they're 12 games out of first place in the Central Division. Where do you see them going for the end of the season? Possibly.
I mean, I see them about 500 and missing the playoffs. I think they'll make a little bit of a run, but like, I don't think they're going to sneak into a wild card. I think they're 7 games out still. And like, they just played too many good teams. I mean, you're going to have the Guardians more. You're going to have the Royals and the Twins more, who are both above 500. Like, it's not a necessarily easy schedule. Like, they don't have enough offense to really push too hard.
See, yeah, that series against the Guardians that was in Detroit, and like when we lost 3 out of 4, I was pretty scared as a Guardians fan. I was like, uh-oh. But thinking, I was like, yeah, it's in Detroit. So I think definitely the next series we play you guys, it's more than likely going to be in Cleveland. So hopefully it'll be a different outcome. Because, that 4-game series, when you lose 75% of the games, that's scary.
Yeah, I mean, it's very tough. But like I said, we did have a little bit of a slump in the away a little bit. But like I said, we're not talking about the Guardians. We're talking about the Tigers. Do you think the Tigers are going to be above 500, Douglas, for the end of the season? Gun to your head.
Well, I mean, I'll stick, but I think honestly, I see them as an 81 and 81 team. It's like the pitching is above average, the hitting's below average.
Yeah.
Averages it out to extremely average of 500.
Yeah. And it's so funny because, like I said, I feel like that's what the biggest problem with it is. Just the hitting has just been bad in the Detroit Tigers.
The one game they beat the Guardians was 1-0.
Yeah.
It's like
that's how you beat the Guardians, because the Guardians like to score runs. If you don't give up runs, you're going to beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's not been, like I said, it's been kind of okay. They have been going on the upper trajectory, I will say, as the Tigers, because they used to be really bad. Like even 2020, that was like awful.
Oh yeah, and they were miserable.
They were been miserable. So I mean, when's the last time the Tigers made the postseason? It's been like 2015, 16.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like it's been that, and then they kind of just been like, they're like a stock option that did like really good in like 2015. Then it's like, oh my goodness, we got to put more investment, and then it's like, oh, the bubble burst, and then it's just like,
the Tigers and the Red Wings basically had the exact same timeline, where they both went pretty hard to win a championship, and then they kind of overextended themselves, bad contracts, and then they both tanked at about 2015, 2016.
Yeah. So it's not looking good. I mean, granted, we'll see how the Tigers do good. It will be interesting, but they're not making the postseason.
I mean, yeah, the hometown favorite here, Doug, is talking about going 81-81.
Yeah, I will be honest with you, they're definitely. Do not feel confident. I mean, even Douglas probably feels.
I'll give honest opinions on every team except the Wolverines, because I'm just gonna always say the Wolverines will win.
How dare you? We're gonna beat them. Let's get to Thanksgiving, and I can't wait when the Ohio State Buckeyes, with our elite talent, is going to dominate and destroy all of them Wolverines' hopes and dreams.
That's another episode, Stu. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, sir. Let's not jump to college football. We're talking about the American League.
Yes, and unfortunately for the Tigers, Chris Sillage made you the Kittens. I'm just saying. But anyway. Silence is a joke. I guess.
Stu, your owner hate. I don't get your hatred on owners.
Well,
why do you hate owners? Do you wish you could own a team, Stu?
Oh, I would be.
I wish I could own a professional sports.
I honestly feel like I'd be a terrible.
Oh my gosh!
I'd be like, you are terrible. You're garbage. Get out of here. You can't. You pin in that one. Now get out. You're done. I would be such a troll as an owner.
I mean, that's what your general manager's for of the team, Stuart. Like as an owner,
you like the.
From what I've noticed in the professional sports, whether it's football, whether it's baseball, whether it's hockey, blah blah blah. owners should take a step back and not be too hands-on, because that's what the general manager's for. That's why they have an entire board for their team, so they can orchestrate their team, make sure it's working well. The owners maybe take a little step back. Don't be too involved on things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, almost every example I can think of an owner like demanding they pick a player always fails.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like see those situations where the owner's like, "Oh, we have to take this guy," and then I don't know. Then it makes the GM look bad too. I agree.
Yeah. Now, speaking of teams that's just kind of weirdly been, the Tampa Bay Rays. They're at least doing like a good 500 right now. We're going into the positive range right now.
I mean, yeah, 48, exactly 500. But like the Blue Jays, you're in a division that is so very tough.
Yeah, that's a
Baltimore,
really tough
Yankees,
division.
Boston.
Yeah, the three-headed monster, I would say, of that division of the Baltimore Yankees and Boston right now. The serpent like Hydra right now of the tough American League. And it's weird to think that Tampa Bay is like, I'm surprised that they haven't had a new stadium, or because I know they have a really bad like location spot. They don't even fill it up even in the postseason when they even make the postseason. It's kind of crazy.
Tampa Bay, do they have an indoor stadium, or am I thinking incorrectly?
No, they have an indoor stadium, but it's like
Tropicana Field.
Yeah, Tropicana, and also there's only like a one way to get in and out, so it's like really bad to like park in there.
Oh, so you've been there, Stu? Nice, first-hand account right here. Stuart's been to Tropicana.
No, technically, I've not been there. I just know.
Okay, do a little research on.
Yeah, the Tampa Bay Rays.
I went there as a kid like 3 or 4 times.
How's the parking situation, Doug?
I can't say I recall. I remember my sister and I got like 9 baseballs though, because there was nobody there.
Oh.
Like we would just like sprint around the stadium, and just like people would we'd see somebody hit a home run, and then you could just like jog to the spot because there's nobody there to get it and just find balls.
So have you guys real quick tangent? Have you guys been to baseball games recently and caught a ball?
No.
Okay.
Caught a ball, no.
Okay. Because I just want to see, like, we're in our 30s. What would you guys do if you guys caught a ball at a field, at a stadium?
I would tackle someone's nachos and beat them by a pulp. Just be like, I want that baseball.
Wait, what?
Sorry, Timmy. You're not getting this baseball.
Stuart's going to catch the ball and just beat up the guy next to him who has nachos in his lap.
He was just looking for a reason to beat up a kid. Jesus.
Yeah, jeez.
I will.
All right, Doug. I hope your answer might be a little bit more humbler.
Help me out of it. Just be like, no, Timmy, get that ball.
So, Doug, if you were to catch a ball at a stadium, what would you do?
So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to imagine I'm going with my nieces and nephew, and I'm just going to look like such a baller when I just give it to one of them, but then I'll just take the ball back at home.
Oh, you're taking it back.
You know someone did that? There was a kid that actually did that. They gave it to like a girl, and then it was like, but he didn't but he was being clever, so he had 2 baseballs, and one of them was actually not the one that got the home run.
Yeah, and he ended up
just put the spare one. It's like, that's a clever mofo right there.
See, my mentality is like, it's a baseball that some guy hit. It wasn't like, unless you're sitting at a home run. Like, I went to a Pittsburgh Pirates game. It was a 2-hour drive, St. Louis, playing in Pittsburgh. I caught a ball, but my friend who I was with, he was a St. Louis fan, and I caught a ball. It was hit by a St. Louis player. I'm like, what am I going to do with this ball? It's probably going to end up in like a bucket somewhere. So I'm like, hey, do you want this ball? You're a St. Louis fan. He's like, oh, man, thank you so much. I'm like, yeah, because like I'm a 33-year-old man. What am I going to do with a baseball that some other guy hit? Unless it was like a record-breaking home run ball, then yeah, I would want to keep it. But like if it's a foul ball or something like that, nothing.
Yeah,
nothing
or
important on my roster.
Ohtani's like ball or something like that. Like that would be different. You know what I mean?
Even a regular home run by Shohei Ohtani, it's not that of a ball. Unless it's like a 600 career home run set. Well, he's not going to reach 700. That'd be out of this world. But yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, back to the Tampa Bay Rays. They've been 500. They have a tough division with the Hydra of basically the Boston, Baltimore, and the Yankees right now.
Yeah, you're right.
They play against the Guardians, but they did beat the Guardians 2-1. The Guardians kind of been slumping a little bit, but we'll talk to them. They did beat the Yankees. They got swept by the Rangers, and they won 2 games away against the Royals.
Ooh, wow, 2 games away against the Royals. Big. Wow, that was pretty good.
Yeah, unfortunately, they got swept in June. They at home they tied with the Orioles. They tied with the Mariners.
June. How about we just stay in July? We don't go all the way backtrack to June.
Yeah,
that's a lot right there, Stu. I say we stay in July.
Oh
Streamline this.
They got swept by the
been doing this for an hour. We're only like halfway done.
No, they got swept by the Orioles by like at home.
Yeah, June's a different month. Every team plays different per month. I mean, because look, months have different temperatures, different weather. So yeah, come August, it's gonna be a different scenario, and then come.
All right, that's fine. I mean, like I said, do you think the Rays will they make the postseason?
Rays, they're 10 games out. They will not make the postseason because you take 3 from each. Well, 1 from each division, then the next 3 best records. Rays not making, in my opinion, not making.
Yeah, they're like 3.5.
What are you feeling?
They're 5.5 in the wild card right now. I mean, I've always said I think right now anything below that's below Tampa is not going to make the postseason. And I feel like maybe Tampa is like in like the 10%, maybe 15% odds.
Because quick transition, a team that could more than likely make the playoffs via wild card or even winning the division, you got the Houston Astros.
Which is crazy because they had such like a mediocre beginning and then they kind of like trajectory all themselves up this last month.
So hot take. I know they're both on a losing streak. Seattle Mariners 3-game losing streak. Astros 2-game losing streak. I think the Astros are going to end up winning the AL West.
You think they're going to make the postseason?
Oh, I mean, I don't think they're going to make the postseason. I pretty much know they're going to make the postseason.
Ooh. I mean, granted, has Verlander he's been doing okay right now, but like I said, we'll see how the Astros. I mean, this has kind of been interesting. Is this the weakest Astros since 2015?
Probably.
Yeah, because I feel like they always been like dominant, good. This is like the good Astros team. I mean, even though they were called the Houston Trash Cans, I'm just saying.
Houston Trash Cans. Is that what you said, Stu?
Because they were playing with the trash cans in the World Series. and everyone hated them because they got their scandal with that.
All right.
With trash cans. They're like, oh, this person's going to do a foul ball, curve ball. Do.
I mean, that's how you play baseball. You got to learn how someone's pitching, read their pitches. And then, I mean, I know there's more to that than just reading pitches. There's stealing signs, right? But that could be a whole nother conversation for.
That's a whole nother conversation right there. So definitely, I feel for the Astros. I think they could probably make the postseason. I do feel like. And I know we're going to talk about the Mariners. I don't feel confident the Mariners are going to keep this up.
I mean, that's a good transition right into the team itself, the Seattle Mariners, because.
They're only 1 game behind right now of the Astros right now. 1 game.
No, Stuart, the Astros are 1 game behind the Mariners. The Mariners are a game above.
I'm sorry, the game above.
But regardless, it doesn't matter how you phrase it, Stu, because I agree with you, Stu, because you said the Mariners have been, not performing as well, or you don't think they will perform as well. They might be a little slippery slope, and I agree with you because I think Houston's going to win the AL West.
Yeah, I honestly probably give Houston making the postseason 55%. I'm trying to think if I put it in the.
Doug, real quick, do you think who's going to win the AL West?
Oh man, see, I don't know. I was very surprised to see how high up the Astros had climbed because I remember how much they were stinking.
Oh yeah, August they were terrible. Not August. April they were terrible.
See, Stuart said really, August. Stuart can see into the future.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing.
It's really hard to bet against the Astros, but I'm gonna say that the Mariners will hold them off. I think.
Woo! Boo! no.
Ooh, Stuart, what do you say? Who's gonna win the division? Astros, the Mariners, you and the Rangers. What do you think?
Astros all the way. They're gonna do it. They're gonna climb up and they're gonna do it.
All right. Well, that's a good segue into our other team that's fighting for the division, even though they're in the lead by 1 game, the Mariners.
Yes, and how do you feel about the Mariners right now? So we're now in the cream of the crop right now. The creme of the creme right now of the Mariners, who is probably, if I'm thinking correctly, are they the only team that's not won a World Series in the American League besides the Minnesota Twins? Did the Twins win a World Series?
I don't know. I
know Seattle's never won a World Series.
Yeah, I don't think the Twins have actually.
Have the Athletics won a World Series?
Yes, they won. They won multiple World Series in the 70s. I think they won 3 World Series in a row.
Okay, well,
yeah, the last time they won one was 79. No, 89. It was against the.
I'm gonna step away for a brief moment. When I get back, I want to see Stuart or Doug, or look it up. Who's you said the
Minnesota Twins.
The Mariners are the only other team not to win a World Series?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a Google search just to make sure. I think I might be right. I think it's Minnesota. I think the Royals have won World Series. That makes sense. I know the Orioles have won one. The Yankees.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah, and the Tampa Bay Rays. The Minnesota Twins apparently have won one, but Tampa Bay is not.
Oh, okay. When did Minnesota win a World Series?
I don't know.
That's a good question. I'm gonna look that up. That has to be Minnesota Twins World Series. Let me check.
They won in 91, Stu. 87.
Oh, 87 and 91. Okay.
They've won 3 World Series. Is the disrespect?
I'm sorry that I had to disrespect the 5 Minnesota Twins fans, even though they're doing okay.
And I mean, shoot, they've won a World Series more recently than the Tigers or the Guardians or when did the White Sox win? Did they win it in 06?
They won it in 1980. The last time they won it, Woodrow Wilson was president. That's how long ago it's been.
All right.
Yeah. There was no, like, people didn't have radios in their homes. That's how long ago. If you had to watch a baseball, you had to go in the newspaper.
Yeah.
But let's just we'll talk about it right here. The Mariners. How you feeling about the Mariners so far, Douglas?
I mean, pretty decent. I mean, I like what they've done. I really like Julio Rodriguez. I think that they're an up and coming team still. Like, I think they're kind of ascending as the Astros are descending. So, like, I think they're kind of the future of the AL West for sure.
And it is going to be interesting because this weekend they are going to play against each other right now. It is in Seattle, so we'll see who will win that series right now. But like I said, as of right now, they've been kind of slumping. They lost 3 out of 4 games against the Angels, even though it was at home, but still, Anaheim. They did sweep against the Padres away. They lost 2 games out of 3 against the Toronto Blue Jays, which that's not good. And they lost even at home against the Orioles. So they had a really kind of a slumpy, like, July so far. Like it's kind of not been good. And a lot of those are, like, not really teams that we already talked about. Toronto. It's like, it's not really, like, putting me in a positive, like the Padres, who I know we're going to talk about it next week. Padres are not that good.
So here's what I'm thinking about that series coming up. It's Houston in Seattle, right, for a 3-game series?
Yeah.
I'm thinking Houston's going to take 2 out of those 3. They're moving to first because I was a quick glance at who Houston plays on Monday for their next series. It's going to see Oakland Athletics.
Oh,
so Houston, I think it's going to be in first place by the end of this week, or the end of, I guess, next week, technically, if you want, so to speak.
I mean, I still don't feel positive on the Mariners. They've been doing good, but I just do not feel positive right now on the Mariners right now.
So you know who's a team I low key kind of do feel positive about, and I can't stand to say that because they're in the division.
Oh, are you talking about? Are you in royalty?
Yes.
Chris?
Oh yeah. Nice segue.
Nice segue. So we gotta talk about the
nice little joke, or I'm not sure what that was, but
yeah, it's crazy to think because the Royals used to have that buzz. They went from like getting really good at like 10 years ago. Then they stunk for like the last like 7-8 years. And now I feel like they've been bouncing back now.
I think
so how do you feel about
they're in second last place in the Central Division to start the season. And then slowly but surely they've been moving their way up. I could be misspoken here, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. And like the Guardians struggle against the Royals. So I'm sorry I keep comparing it to the Guardians, but I'm still talking about the team we're talking about. And the Royals, like I said, it's been a very competitive team against the Guardians. So the Royals, I think they're 7 games out. I think they probably could sneak in a second place.
Now, do you think the Royals will make the postseason? That's a good question.
Man. Doug, what do you think?
I would like to think so.
I mean this is, like I said, this is going to be the last team we talk about that's not in the postseason. As of right now, that's not Seattle.
Because here's what it is. The Royals are 2 games out against the Boston Red Sox for the last wild card spot. Oh, man. But then you have Houston. They're right behind Kansas City for the next wild card spot. Houston's going to win the division in my eyes. So it's going to be Kansas City and Seattle battling out for the wild card spot, and Boston.
Yeah, I feel like
I can't see Kansas City making the playoffs.
So you think Seattle's going to make it before Kansas City?
No, I think Red Sox are going to make it because
that's true.
Yankees got the Twins somehow always sneak into the playoffs, into the postseason come October, and then the Red Sox. So I don't think Kansas City, Seattle, they're not going to make it.
Now, it is going to be interesting, like I said, that the Royals have been doing pretty good. I mean, I think this is probably, even if they don't make the postseason, this has been a successful season for them, going over 500. Winning from like last year, which I like to joke, last season was more like, hey, I want you to make the postseason. No, I want you to make the postseason. Wait a minute. I want you guys to make the postseason.
Who are you talking about with you? Did the Royals make the postseason last year or not?
Like, the Twins were awful. The Guardians were awful. Royals were awful. The Tigers were awful.
Guardians made the postseason last year still.
Like, it was like an awful. It was like teams that was like in the 400s that was made the postseason. It was like the Minnesota Twins made it out. And I don't even think they did not have a 500 record.
I don't think you could make the playoffs being 400. I don't think you can make the playoffs wild card wise being under 500, even under 500.
I think they were under 500. If I remember last year, I will Google. I remember they were all bad, which is funny because
really, I mean, that year, like, right now the wild card records winning percentage wise: Yankees 592, Twins 563, Red Sox 558.
But this is last year.
It's a wild card under 400 or at 400.
All right, let's see here. You got it pulled up still. So we had.
I'm looking at the
Twins,
standings.
Astros.
Oh, they did. I'm sorry. They added a high record.
They were way over 500.
But they were bad. I'm sorry, they were bad. That division 89 was bad.
And 70. That's like, not bad.
They were bad.
Dude, they won 89 games. What are you talking about?
But they didn't make it far in the postseason.
Who?
The Minnesota Twins.
Oh yeah, no, they were bad.
Wait, the Twins did not make the postseason last year?
No, they made the postseason last year, but they didn't make it far. They were 1 and done.
Okay, so wait. What was the Twins? What was their winning percentage last year?
Okay,
537.
537. But everyone else was bad. Like 481 against the Tigers, Guardians 469. White Sox 377.
Had a better record than the Guardians last year.
Yeah, which is crazy to think about that.
Wait, who had a better record than the Guardians last year?
The Tigers.
Yeah, because the Indians always have that midseason slump. But we'll get to them when we get to the top of the list. Well, we're focused on the Royals right now.
Last year, like I said, it is crazy to think that the Kansas City Royals last year was 346. They ended their season, and now they're at 536. They have really improved this season right now. They have.
They're the Royals are at 536. Wow.
Yeah, they've really just hit that bounce up.
7 games out, but like I said, they're not making the playoffs. Sorry, Royals.
Not going to make the playoffs, but.
Sure, like you said, you kind of segued into some about the royalties. Their royalties are going to go down the drain when they don't make the playoffs.
Are you going to say they might gotten dethroned?
I mean, they were never on top of the throne this season, so you can't get dethroned if you're not on top of the throne.
The postseason, they lost 2 games against Boston at home. They did beat the Cardinals. They did sweep the Cardinals.
Wait, sir, did you say the postseason?
No, the regular season in July. They did beat the Colorado. No, actually, they got swept by the Rockies. No, they actually won.
So if you get swept by the Rockies, don't even worry about talking another series that they could have won.
Yeah, they did lose 2 games against the Rockies. They did lose 2 games.
Yeah, Rockies second worst in the NL. If you get swept by the Rockies, sir, don't even talk about any more series.
Yeah.
I dare say we might want to pick up the pace, though, because we still got 5 more teams. We've been doing this for.
Yeah, we're moving on to the Red Sox. That's why I was telling Stu not to talk about any more series.
I know. I just love talking about baseball, but like I said, next we got to talk about the White Sox, who I remember I went to.
No more White Sox talk. We're talking about the Red Sox.
Red Sox talk. I'm sorry.
Boston Red Sox.
I still remember this, Douglas and Chris, when I went to a Red Sox Yankee game preseason, and where a Red Sox fan in his Boston accent told a Yankees fan, "Hey, Ma, we won in 18, you won in 09. That's what I got to tell you."
All right.
Laugh. And the funniest part is, like, the Yankees fan was like, "You told me this 30 times in a row, and I'm going to tell you this 31 more times. You won in 18, you won in 09.
So, Doug, you said the Yankees were going to win the AL with the best record, right? Not win the AL going to the World Series, right?
Yes.
That is correct.
And Doug or Stuart, who did you pick to win the best record in the AL? It was Cleveland.
I said the Orioles.
No, you said the Guardians.
You said the Guardians' best record. Orioles to make the World Series. So so Doug, based off your prediction, the Yankees with the best record in the AL at the end of the season are going to win the East. So that means we're talking about the Red Sox right now. The Red Sox will not win the division. So that means they'll have to be a wild card team. Based on Doug's prediction, I don't see the Boston winning the AL East. I see them being definitely a wild card team though, because man, they are. I mean, right now they're the 3rd wild card team. But yeah, Red Sox to the postseason for sure.
Yeah, no, I just love watching the Red Sox play just because of Fenway. So I like
that short right field.
Yeah, the short right field, the Green Giant. It's a good time.
The Green.
The Green Monster. Did they change it to the Giant? I hope not. Green Monster.
Yeah, the Green Monster.
Stuart, what do you think about the Red Sox? What do you think they're going to end up at the end of the season?
I think they'll make the postseason. They'll probably not make the playoffs. And I mean, granted, they've been improving.
Wait. They're going to make the postseason, but not the playoffs. Let's retract here.
They're going to make the playoffs, but they're not going to make it far in the postseason.
Gotcha.
I'm sorry. So anyway.
I think we know what you're saying.
Yeah, so Bob the Builder. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so like I said, so far for the Red Sox, they did sweep against the Marlins, which is not really saying that much.
That's easy.
But against the Yankees, they did beat them 2-1 at home. At away, that's really good. They beat 2-1 at home against the Athletics, and then they beat 2-1 they actually swept against the Royals at home.
Okay, so those should have been all winnable series, and they won all those. You said they beat them. They beat the Yankees at home on that series?
Yes.
Okay, so all winnable series. Good job, Boston.
Yeah, Boston's doing good. They are trekking up. It's been like they had a little bit of a slump. They were kind of mediocre the last couple of years, but this is a better Boston team right now.
Real quick, do you guys know off the top of your head, did Boston make the playoffs last year?
No.
Ooh, all right. Come back here. Let's go Sox.
Yes.
Let's go.
And speaking of comebacks, that's still in the wild card right now. The Minnesota Twins, who did make it to the postseason, but then they lost one game. They did win a game, which actually beat their losing streak of. I think they have the longest losing streak in a postseason for a team. It was like 23 games or something like that. Something ridiculous. Gentlemen.
Yeah. No, that's. You said a 23-game playoff losing streak?
Yes.
Yeah, that's pretty horrendous.
It's pretty bad. So it is kind of crazy that they've just been doing good, but like I said, they always kind of they're kind of been the redheaded stepchild in the postseason. You know what I mean? Been doing good in the preseason, but like postseason, it's been like, is Minnesota gonna make it far? Let's be honest. It's Minnesota. It's Minnesota. But anyway, so as of right now, look at this. So this July, they did lose 2-1 against the Giants, but the Giants have always been good. They did win 3-2, 2 out of 3 against the White Sox. The Twins did go 2-3 against the Astros, and they went 2-3 against the Tigers. So they've been doing good right now. They've been trailing up, chucking up. They're going up. We'll see. And I feel like this is like the same problem I feel like with the Toronto Maple Leafs in hockey, and I know we talked about it. Win postseason games, and we'll talk. Minnesota. I'm just saying. This season doesn't matter. Make it far in the postseason. Then we'll talk.
That's what we say about the Cowboys.
How dare you? How dare you? We're going to make a Super Bowl. We're going to win a Super Bowl. We're going to win a Super Bowl this year.
So you know how, like, Michigan, they had to have playoff losses to eventually get good, you know? So, like, maybe this is the year the Cowboys finally are decent.
We are going to go to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying. But like I said, we're talking about baseball, not about football yet. I know. We're getting close. We're getting close. And now we got to talk about the Goliath that everybody loves somehow. Everybody loves, right? In Detroit, in Cleveland, in Boston, in Baltimore. Everybody loves this team, the New York Yankees.
So I remember your bedroom at your dad's had Yankee wallpaper all over it.
Yeah, I used to be a Yankees fan.
Oh, how dare you?
Yeah, I used to be a Yankees fan, and now I went back and been a Guardians fan. So good for me. But like I said, it's been a crazy, like I would say 15 years since their post-World Series, where they've just been like, okay, they've been decently good, then mediocrely bad, and now they're trailing up. And I think last year was their first time in a while they made the postseason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they've been like always kind of hover on playoffs, but yeah, they always have too much star power too. I mean, shoot, and having Juan Soto, Judge, they have Garrett, or what is his name? Garrett Cole, the elite pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I think they still have Stanton too. Like, their team is freaking ridiculous, man.
Yes. Also, the fun part is we're having technical difficulties because Chris cannot hear you. We cannot hear you, Christopher. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry, Chris. We cannot hear you right now in this one. But, man. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So how do you feel about, like, and it is kind of funny because last year I know that they got so up with Aaron Judge because he had like a middling season, and everyone's like, "We want him gone. We're so ungrateful. Get rid of Aaron Judge."
Yeah, I mean, I think a wider issue in sports, like if you don't win every year, people want your head. Like I was reading this article on ESPN about the life of like a general manager and like how rough it is. Like, you can be a hero 1 year, then your team like falters, you make one bad deal, then all of a sudden everyone wants your head, you can go from GM of the year to fired in 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Wow.
Also, I think Christopher just muted himself. Sorry, I just looked.
Oh, cool. Hello?
Yes. So, like I said, the Yankees, the Hydra monster. And, Chris, are you back? Can you hear me? Just want to make sure.
Hi.
Hello. Hello. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. We are ready for some pie right now.
Hello?
I think you muted yourself. That's why. Now I can hear you. Speak loudly.
Speak.
Yes, I can hear you now.
I don't know what was going on with my microphone and everything like that, but wow, I don't know what just happened.
I saw you as a mute. There was a mute at some point, so that's why.
Huh. I'll go check it out when the podcast is over.
Yeah, so anyway. So I guess I should talk about Fyodor, how do you feel about your favorite team, the New York Yankees right now? Your favorite team?
Oh, we're going to wrap this up with the Yankees and then go on the Orioles real quick with my the Yankees are going to what Doug said, they're going to finish with the best record. Stuart, you said the Guardians with the best record. I think I said the Yankees best record, but the Guardians made it to the World Series. Or did I say Orioles best record?
Yeah. But like I said, it's so, aren't you so happy that the Yankees have a great season? They're going to make the postseason. Like everybody loved the Yankees.
Well, they're going to end up choking, right?
Everyone in baseball.
I will say, I'm not going to lie to though. I really do like some teams. We got the playoff games in the way the Yankee Stadium. Like those, like Boston versus Yankees in the playoffs, and I'll have just a blast, man. I'll watch every game of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just stinks because, like I said, it's like, man, I just wish. Why couldn't the Yankees be like the White Sox?
They had too much money.
I know. The darn team.
The Yankees, they just always spend so much and they'll put so much into it.
And it stinks because they're still going to be good. But anyway, we're going to be almost getting close to the end right here. So we got the Baltimore Orioles, the tallest of the Hydras right now, who has done a lot better in the last few years. I remember 5 years ago, they gave up the most home runs in a season.
5 years ago, Stu?
Yeah, in a season, and they beat the record in August.
But that
was. You know what's interesting? I think the MLB, they started doing a lottery system for the draft as well, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, because it makes no sense because the Guardians had the number 1 overall pick this year. So I don't know how that works.
Well, because I think like the Orioles were like one of the last like great tanking stories before they made the switch. That was where I was going with this. I think they tanked good enough and got enough good prospects.
Yeah, and look at how they've been doing. They've been doing decently. They've been dominating. They are now the number 1 of the Hydra 3, I would say.
Hey, like we said earlier, they have Adley Rutschman, who was the MVP Rookie of the Year last year, and now they have Gunnar Henderson. So yeah, like Doug was saying, they have a bunch of young talent. They're making their moves, getting the right draft picks.
Yeah, granted,
last year they had a great record too. Like they were a solid squad last year. Maybe this is the year they're ready to make the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, so as of right now in July, they won 2 games against 3 against the Mariners. They were 2 against 3 against the Oakland. They did lose to the Cubs, actually. They actually got swept by the Cubs, but we won't talk about that. But they only lost 2 games against the Yankees. So far they've been doing good. We're not going to talk about the Cubs, but like I said, that's going to be
for next week.
Oh, next week. But like I said, I really do feel like Baltimore has done really well. They've been hitting it all the way up to the stratosphere, and Earl Weaver is happy in his grave right now.
So you guys both selected Baltimore to go to the World Series from the AL, right?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. And now...
Sorry, technical. But yes, I did predict that.
Yes. And now we got the final one right over here. We got Christopher, who loves his Guardians.
Oh, yeah. I love the tribe. The tribe of Guardians.
They've been having a little bit of a slump the last 10 games, but we won't talk about that. But how do you feel, Christopher, on the best team right now since 2018, the Cleveland Guardians right now?
So the best team since 2018? What do you mean by that?
Well, they had that great October to remember.
Oh, I thought you meant like they've been the best team in the AL or even the majors since 20. I'm like, how'd you get that statistic?
No,
but nonetheless,
this is the best team in a while.
Oh, the Cleveland Guardians. This is the best Guardians team since 2018 or 2016. I see what you're saying. The Guardians, I think I mentioned earlier, they always have a mid-season slump, or a mid-season meltdown, however you want to phrase it. And yeah, like they're 4-6 in their last 10. They had a rough series. They lost 2 out of 3 to the Rays going into the All-Star break. I think before that, I'm not sure who it was. They might have lost a couple to the Royals even. So I want the Guardians, they're probably going to win their division. But like I mentioned earlier, I think the Yankees are going to have the best record in the AL. But the Guardians, as I predicted earlier, they're going to go to the World Series. But how do I feel about them right now? Yeah, they're slumping a little bit, but they should still win the AL Central.
Yeah, I mean they did. I mean, besides those 2 slumpy games, I mean they did beat the White Sox 2-1. They did beat the Giants 2-1. They did have a little bit of bad slump against the Tigers and the Rays, but like I said, it feels good. And it's crazy. They even lost their main pitcher with a season-ending injury, and they're still doing good.
Shane
Bieber's out, and they're still doing good.
I mean, yeah, I would have thought they'd be pretty 500-ish going into the season, especially knowing that they had a bad year last year too.
Yeah, low-key, Doug, based off what you're saying or piggybacking off that, I didn't expect the Guardians to be this good going the All-Star break. So 58 wins for the Guardians. This is the most amount of wins they've had going into the All-Star break. I think it's also the best winning percentage they've had going to the All-Star break.
Look, that's crazy to think about it. If you look at, I know we did talk about for next week. Besides the Phillies, they had the best record. Second best record in the MLB.
What, best record in the AL? That's what we're here to talk about.
Yeah.
I like I said, talking what Doug was mentioning, I thought the Indians were going to be a little bit above 500, but I was not expecting them to be this good.
Yeah. You know, they've just been they've been so good. It will be interesting. Can they have that good momentum? Can they be like 2016 Cleveland? Or that 2017 Cleveland where they had the best record and then they just like collapsed during the postseason? Because that's their only 2 destinies right now.
I mean, 2016 they made it to the World Series. Yeah, they lost, but that was 8 years ago. So hopefully they can redeem themselves. I picked them going to the World Series. I know you guys picked them. I know Sue, you picked them.
I said
best records.
I said Game 6, Cleveland versus Dodgers. Cleveland wins.
Sir, you picked the Orioles to go to the World Series.
I said preseason.
Yeah. You picked the Guardians to win the World Series in the preseason?
Yeah.
Sir, did you put money on that?
No, I did not put money on that.
Yeah, at the beginning of this podcast, I asked you guys who's going to the World Series from the AL, and so you said the Orioles, right now. And now you're saying the Guardians. All right, okay.
I'm just saying, man. How dare you? You know what? You know what I gotta say? Boo this man, Christopher. Boo this man.
Don't boo me. I'm the one who said the Guardians are going to the World Series. The Yankees with the best record, but the Guardians going to the World Series.
It's true. And it's crazy to think, like I said, Guardians have done really well. Lost Shane Bieber. They're chucking. This has probably been a very, I think they're going to win the division. As long as they don't have that, they have that little, as long as that little slump doesn't hurt them, then I think they're going to probably win the division.
Doug, what do you think? What do you think about the Guardians in the AL Central with division winners and where the Guardians might end up or will end up at the end of the season?
Oh man, they're gonna run away with the division, I think.
Ooh, wow!
Love to hear it. Thank you, Doug.
Yeah, I don't really
see me personally.
Them a challenge.
Me personally, I think the Guardians they should win the division, but what the Twins are 4.5 games back. I'm still worried about that midseason slump, midseason meltdown from the Guardians. I still think they should win the division, but it's going to be a tight race coming down to the wire at the end of the season.
It's going to be a tight race, and we'll see how it goes. Like I said, we'll see when we get to the postseason right there, when we talk about podcasting about the baseball postseason. But like right now, we have just completed 15 teams. Recap 15 teams right now on the AL League right now and MLB right now. And now we will let you know that next week we will talk about the NL Leagues. That's right. We're going to talk about the Phillies. We're going to talk about Shohei Ohtani's Dodgers. We're going to make fun of the Miami Marlins being awful. The Colorado Rockies being straight up trash. Next week.
All right. Sounds like a game plan for next week.
And it's the next week. And I guess I'll ask, gentlemen, do you have any final thoughts before we go?
Let's go Guardians, make it to the World Series from the AL.
Yeah. What do you think, Douglas?
I'm going to the pool.
You're going to the pool. Yeah, so like I said,
I wish I was right there with you going.
So like I said, we'll talk about our schedule for next week. So like next week we'll recap the NL League right over here. And then we'll probably do one more for the Olympics before the Olympics is going to start. We'll just do a quick recap, and then August. You know it's time. It is time. Douglas. Fyodor. You know it's very important right now. It's going to be from here till February. Very important. We got NFL season.
Heck yeah, I'm sure our viewers are excited about it.
Oh my God, we're going to do each division, each rankings. It's going to be so much fun. So like I said, this is honestly, I've been waiting so long to have this right over here. This has probably been my one thing that I've been craving right now. It's been tough. It's been a tough road. Just saying. So. Yes.
It's always a pleasure, guys.
It's always a pleasure, and also Douglas, enjoy your the Charlie Brown voice, teacher voice. Wah 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 wah. But anyway, I will catch you later, everybody. I'll catch you later, Mr. Gator. Take care. See ya.